In 2012, a 19-year-old pizza delivery driver spent his wages on a sewing machine. 10 years later, he became one of the youngest self-made billionaires in British history. This is the story of Ben Francis and the three bets that built Gymshark. Ben Francis was studying business at Aston University in Birmingham in 2012. By day, he was in lectures. By night, he was delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut, earning £5 an hour. But every spare moment went to the gym. Ben was obsessed with fitness. And, like a lot of serious gym goers at the time, he had a problem that nobody was solving. The gym clothes available didn't fit right. The big brands, Nike, Adidas, made clothes for general athletes, not for people who trained specifically to build muscle. The cuts were wrong. The fits were baggy where they should be tapered. Too loose. Too unflattering. Ben started sketching ideas in his bedroom. He wasn't thinking about building a billion-dollar company. He was thinking about making gym clothes he actually wanted to wear. With his Pizza Hut wages and about £1,000 in savings, he bought two pieces of equipment, a sewing machine and a screen printer. He set them up in his parents' garage in Bromsgrove, just outside Birmingham, and he taught himself to sew. Actually, his grandmother taught him. She was a curtain maker. She showed him the basics, and Ben took it from there. Gymshark didn't start as a clothing brand. It started as a supplements website. Ben and his school friend Lewis Morgan set up Gymshark.com to dropship protein powders and supplements, reselling products from other suppliers without holding any inventory. It took them 6 weeks to make their first sale. But the supplements business was going nowhere fast. The margins were thin. The competition was brutal. So in 2013, Ben made a pivot. He stopped selling other people's supplements and started making his own clothing in the garage. The early products were basic: a vest, a hoodie, a tracksuit, made by hand, one at a time, on a sewing machine in his parents' garage while juggling university and Pizza Hut shifts. During that first year of selling clothing, Gymshark made £500 in sales per day. Not life-changing money, but enough to know people wanted what he was making. Then came Body Power. Body Power was Europe's largest fitness trade show, held annually at the NEC Arena in Birmingham. In 2013, Ben made a decision that would change everything. He invested almost all of Gymshark's money, £300,000, into a booth at Body Power. Let that sink in. A 20-year-old who had been sewing clothes in his garage just bet his entire company on one trade show. But Ben wasn't just betting on the expo. He was betting on something else entirely. Before the show, he had been sending free Gymshark clothing to fitness YouTubers, not celebrities, not professional athletes, YouTubers. People like Lex Griffin and Nikki Blackketter, fitness creators with loyal audiences of gym-goers who trusted their recommendations. This was 2013. Influencer marketing barely existed as a concept. Most brands were still spending millions on TV ads and billboards. Ben was sending gym clothes to YouTubers. At Body Power, those influencers showed up wearing Gymshark. The crowds recognized them, surrounded them, and then looked at what they were wearing. Gymshark sold out of its entire inventory on the first day, but the moment that truly launched the company happened after the show. A photo of Gymshark's Luxe tracksuit went viral on Facebook. Within 30 minutes of that post going live, 30 minutes, Gymshark generated £30,000 in sales. Ben and Lewis left university immediately. Ben quit his Pizza Hut job. Gymshark was now the only thing. So how did a garage operation become a billion-dollar company? 3 things. And Gymshark got all 3 right before anyone else in fitness apparel did. Number 1, community over advertising. While Nike was spending billions on TV campaigns, Gymshark built a community of gym-goers who felt like the brand was made for them, because it was. Ben wasn't designing clothes for the general public. He was designing them for people who trained exactly the way he trained. When your customer is yourself, you can't get the product wrong. Number 2, influencer marketing before it had a name. Gymshark was one of the first brands in the world to build its entire marketing strategy around social media creators. Not one-off sponsorships, long-term partnerships. They called their influencers Gymshark athletes and treated them like members of the brand, not billboards. By 2020, the company was working with 125 influencers across YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, each one reaching an audience that trusted their recommendations completely. Number 3, selling direct to consumer from day one. Gymshark never went into retail stores, no middlemen, no wholesale deals. They sold exclusively online, which meant higher margins, direct customer data, and full control of the brand experience. When the company's revenue crossed £250,000, Ben and Lewis left university to run it full-time. By 2016, they were on the Sunday Times Fast Track list of Britain's fastest-growing private companies, 4 years in a row. By 2020, Gymshark became the first direct-to-consumer brand in the UK to reach unicorn status, a valuation of over £1 billion, without a single penny of venture capital funding. Here's what most people miss about the Gymshark story. Ben Francis didn't have a revolutionary idea. Gym clothes existed, fitness brands existed, online retail existed. What he had was a specific frustration, clothes that didn't fit, and the willingness to solve it himself with £1,000 and a sewing machine. And here's the thing about solving a problem you personally have. You already know the customer because you are the customer. Ben didn't need focus groups or market research. He needed to look at himself in the mirror after a workout and ask, does this look right? The lesson from Gymshark isn't start a clothing brand. The lesson is, the best businesses are built by people who are so frustrated by a problem that they can't not solve it. Ben Francis went from £5 an hour delivering pizzas to a net worth of £1.3 billion. Not because he had a plan, because he had a sewing machine, a garage, and a problem he refused to live with. Next week, I'm breaking down how another founder built a completely different kind of company from a completely different starting point with the same obsessive mindset. Subscribe so you don't miss it.